Well, if you thought the Republicans were going to come in and cut spending, you can forget it, because they've caught the Washington disease. Let's spend some of the taxpayers' money. Recently, in the Clean Water and Energy Act, a number of amendments were offered by Republicans, of course, because the Democrats don't want to cut anything. A bunch of amendments were offered by Republicans that would have cut $9 billion from this bill, which is 87. It was 87.5 billion last year, and I understand that they've increased the amount in the bill this year. So I'm not sure exactly how much it is, but they wanted to cut $9 billion from the bill. Every one of these amendments went down to a resounding defeat. The votes weren't even close. And let's keep in mind that the Republicans have an advantage in numbers of 241 to 190. So they have over 50 more votes than the Democrats, and they still couldn't pass these cuts, modest cuts, I might say, in the bill. So I think we have false hopes that the Republicans are going to cut spending and start to balance the budget. In addition to that, there are many items in Senator Coburn's waste book. And one of them is they appropriated $35 million for the political conventions. Why taxpayers are paying for the political conventions is beyond me. That these political parties are raising money hand over fist, hundreds of millions of dollars. There's no reason they can't finance their own conventions. In addition to that, talk about waste. We're buying helicopters for the Afghan military, about $1 billion worth. And guess where we're buying them from? We're buying them from the Russians. Is that insane? We need, every one of these little videos that I put out could be entitled the DC Insane Asylum, because they are crazy. The only way to get them to pay attention, they're not really representing us. They're taking care of themselves. The only way to maybe get them to start listening to us is to threaten them with being out of a job, because they have these jobs. Not only are we grossly overpaying them. They're worth about 10% of what we pay them. There's all the other privileges that go along with it. So I advise you to call, email, or fax, or however you can write them a letter, or however, but keep it up. Email them every day, or fax them every day, or something like that, but keep pounding at them to really start to cut spending. Now, among the other follies that are going on in Washington, we're buying components for our defense establishment from the Chinese, 40% of which are found to be defective. And the next time a plane crashes, or recently there was a drone crash in Maryland, I think it was, and there was some kind of a problem with one of the new F-22s that caused $1 million worth of damage. You have to ask yourself, I wonder if there was a Chinese component in this plane or drone or whatever. I mean, there's, this is just rank stupidity. I mean, how can they possibly do this? This is, words fail me really, because I don't know how we can keep this up. Now, if they don't stop the spending, we're going to be like Greece. It's going to be rioting, they may be rioting in the streets anyway. But, we're going to have to cut pensions. There are going to have to be drastic cuts all over the place. The Congressional Budget Office has estimated that the national debt will double in 15 years. So since the national debt now is about 16 billion, and if it doubles in 15 years, that'll mean somewhere between 30 and 35 trillion dollars in debt. Now let's just take a look at something. Last year, the interest on the national debt, this is the interest only, not paying off any of the principal, just the interest, $454 billion. If it doubles in 15 years, that'll mean the interest on the debt will be close to $1 trillion. And we're borrowing this money all over from wherever we can get it. And pretty soon, I think that the people we're borrowing it from are going to get very wary of lending us anymore, and we'll have to go into default or finally make those drastic cuts that are needed. So I think they should do the cuts now. So I advise you to, as I said, call your congressman and your 2 senators and tell them you want drastic cuts in spending. Yes, it's going to be hard on a lot of people. Oh, there's one other thing I should mention. 82 members of the House, talk about wasteful spending, 82 members of the House are leasing cars at government expense. This is supposedly to travel around their districts doing congressional business. I don't know why they have to lease cars at government expense. I think that they should, as many do in private business, use their own cars and get a mileage allowance. And the mileage should be carefully documented so that it's genuine congressional business and not pleasure driving for their own convenience. So I advise you once again, call, write, fax, whatever you can to your representatives and senators, and keep it up. Don't just do it once. Do it every day if you have to, if you can. You really have to, but if you can, threaten them with having to look for a real job. That should scare them half to death. So anyway, here are the addresses. The one on top is how you can find out how to get in touch with your congressmen and senators. And the bottom one is my email. If you want to get in touch with me, I'll be glad to hear from you. And I guess that's all for now. I'm trying to figure out an appropriate title for this one. maybe maybe DC Insane Asylum 2, I don't know. But that's it for now. There's a lot more waste, and there's enough material to do one of these things daily for the foreseeable future. But I can't discover all the waste that's going on. But I'll keep trying anyway. So that's it for now. I'll be back.